Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Lucier for our weekly Tongren session. For people that are new, this is an internationally renowned healing technique, distance healing, from the style of Tongren, developed by this specific style is developed by Tom Tam. So each week you can get your own healing session by putting in your request on Facebook or YouTube, or you can put it on Instagram. We are also live on Instagram, or directly on my website. So we make it as easy as possible. You put in your request and we give you a session. It's basically a mini treatment. For myself as a practitioner, I usually work and treating people for an entire hour, also including herbal and plant-based nutrition recommendations and lifestyle changes to keep people on a path to wellness. My healing practice is Anusara Path, the Anusara Wellness Company, basically to support people, and it's called Healing Without Borders. So let's get right to it. And we had Esther. Esther will be first. And what I want to do especially is to figure out and see if anybody else has any recommendations for pain. So number one, of course, is castor oil. And in the castor oil, I would add things like relaxation or peppermint, castor oil packs or castor oil rub in the castor oil. Second one would be Traumeel, Traumeel cream, or arnica cream. You probably tried a lot of these already. Another one would be clay packs to try to detoxify the area, or clay pack with castor oil and essential oils as a pack you can put on overnight. So let's work on pain. Blood flow to the brain. And I am now live on YouTube, as I have just been told by my computer. So what we do, and the way I do this process, is to initialize the main functionality communications links from the brain to the rest of the body. So in the brain, these main points, these include the sensory cortex, motor cortex, which is the initialization of the nervous systems, bioelectrical systems, and then as well as the pituitary and the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is in many ways the starting point for the biochemical system as well as the bioelectrical systems. So we do these four. So we will work with weight loss. We'll work with all of these things. Weight loss is generally metabolism, but in many ways, one of the best things you can do for weight loss is intermittent fasting, plant-based nutrition, increased hydration, of course, increased exercise. But in many ways, weight loss deals with a nutrient deficiency. Even if you're overweight, you still may have a nutrient deficiency, and the body will hold on to extra weight because it's getting rare doses of important vitamins and minerals. So let's go back for the pain area. GV17 for circulation. For Esther. And we will tap for Augustina. Symptoms free, that's all we really care about. She had symptoms before, but the symptoms have stopped, and that's really our main focus. I want to make sure I don't skip anybody. And next we will work with Chi and Perfect Blood for Happy Mama as well. So blood flow, nerve flow, that's our mantra. And if I didn't mention it before, sit with your feet flat on the floor, palms face up, and ideally do the 4-6-6 breathing technique. Breathe in, count to 4, breathe out, count to 4. This is all through the nose. Hold your breath for a count of 6. that activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And speaking of the breath, I will be coming out with an online course to learn everything about the breath and healing with simple devices and tools and techniques. Activate the entire spine for Esther. And Esther for Masterpiece Theater. I guess last weekend was a total wash for Masterpiece Theater. No repeats, no new shows. So it looks like I'll be watching Saturday and Sunday to catch up. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 inflammation. Something else that is good for pain is light. And you can get small portable light, infrared light devices, which will increase circulation. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Microbiome. T11, T12, L4, L5, S1 to S5 for the bladder and sacrum area and the lower extremities, vagus nerve, gut-brain axis, and the thighs, ouch points, spleen 6, liver 3, and kidney 1. Yay for the breathing course. Yes, Rebecca, you guys probably already know all that stuff now. But yep, that'll be coming out probably within a couple of days. But it's basically so that people can do it at their own pace, at their own time frame. Scheduling workshop for people works for the other courses, but the breath one just didn't seem to work right, so I put in tons of detail for the breathing one and stuff like that. And grounding for Esther. If I missed anything, Esther, please type it in the website, because I have to memorize everything because I don't have access to my text once we start. So I don't want to miss anything. So let's work with Chi and Perfect Blood for Rebecca and for Happy Mama. We'll do a complete bone marrow, blood flow, spleen workup for both of you. Good to hear from you, Rebecca. And I'm going to look at my little blood flow to the brain. Yep, and for Augustina, lots of leafy greens. If you have access to things like chlorella, E3 Live, those types of things. This is all for blood circulation and blood flow as well. I think we've talked about them before, but these are also really good for her to keep good circulation. Blood flow, nerve flow, T1 for the bones and bone marrow. And for losing weight. So we'll continue with the bones, bone marrow, and losing weight. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and the metabolism, which is good for oxygenation, and the bones as well. So for the microbiome, put the spleen, which is like a backup supply of blood, which sometimes gets swollen if the bone marrow isn't producing enough. The spleen, which is the backup system, produces over time, gets overworked and gets swollen. Usually the doctor recommendation is to remove the spleen, so I don't know, I wouldn't recommend that. T11, T12, L4, L5, and let's continue with the bones. Special bone points. GB39. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. The bones are in Chinese medicine the kidneys. So keep your kidneys warm through exercise and qigong. So continue for Happy Mama and others for the bones. Cranial sacral fluid. Over the years I've learned cranial sacral fluid supports the bone marrow. So we work on GB789, tailbone 1 to 4. And hello, Kim. Nice to hear from you. Is this your first time? I don't think so. Looks familiar. So, cranial sacral fluid, GB789, sphenoid bones, the tailbone 1 to 4. Completing everything extensively for the bones. And CV4 for the lower organs, including the kidneys. And the lymph boost, the axillary lymph. And grounding to liver 3. And kidney 1. Kidney 1. Okay. So we have some tips from Catherine McGlynn, as it says here on the thing. Catherine, some relaxation techniques we can use during our practice tonight. So next we will continue to work with weight loss, stiff back and neck, and better memory, lessens dizziness, as well as Augustina right now, brain blood flow to the brain. So for brain issues, brainstem issues, we want to maximize every blood source for the brain. We want to do everything possible to increase oxygen circulation. So Carotid artery to the brain, sky window. Vertebral artery to the brain, Tian-Dong point. Oh, okay, I just can't see your picture. If I can get your picture bigger. Kim, I'm going to take a close look. Okay. And the additional blood supply for the brain, the occiput area. And then specifically on the brainstem area, GV17. So brain command points, brainstem command points. So for the brain, we will also work on the back and the neck. So we do the shoulder release point. Vertebral artery, shoulder release point, GV21. Gallbladder 21 right on the top of the shoulder, so you can see that. So the brachial plexus for the shoulder relaxation, blood flow to the brain as well. Right along the shoulder to shoulder area. And Peggy, we have you, we won't miss you. And Catherine has something about pain management, so check it out. So always a microbiome for Augustina as well. Anti-inflammation and anti-pain. And grounding, extra GV17 for Augustina. Brainstem area. Occiput blood flow to the brainstem area. And C1, C2, occiput, and GV17. And then for everyone, better brain. GB13, right side. That is the right. Yep. And yes, Allison, we had a great Thanksgiving, pretty mellow. I feel pretty good. Thanks for the feedback. And how are you doing? Interesting legend. Yep. GB13 right side. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So Julie for MS. One thing with MS, you have to rule out Epstein-Barr virus because oftentimes it's a misdiagnosed virus, because guess what viruses eat? They eat the fat around the cells. And that basically eliminates the myelin sheath of the nerves. So that's one thing to rule out. And then if you do identify you have an Epstein-Barr virus history, you focus on the Epstein-Barr virus, detoxification, and then boosting the inflammation, anti-inflammation types of things. And we will work on the anti-inflammation and the immune system as well. Blood flow to the brain as well as less. Command points of the brain, GV17, blood flow to the whole body. I almost said to the whole world, but I guess sort of. Good to see you, Julie. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. Clay baths are one of the best things you can do for viral situations. They're excellent for metabolism and for weight loss. One, two, three, 4, 7, 8. Sensory cortex, motor cortex, growth hormone for the nerves. Blood flow to support the nerves, GV17. Vertebral artery to the entire spinal artery. And we have a request from Dorothy about macular degeneration. I was reading some really good reports today about macular degeneration, and zinc can arrest the advancement of macular degeneration, and it will probably help it. So if you take zinc, and of course a common partner to zinc is quercetin. It makes zinc more effective. So I would make sure you're getting plenty of zinc, especially during these times of COVID or other infections. But I would really take a high dose zinc from now on. A really good natural source is pumpkin seeds, organic pumpkin seeds, but better is sprouted pumpkin seeds or sprouted pumpkin seed butter. But get your zinc going. So for the MS, let's focus on the nerve centers. Brachial plexus, shoulder to shoulder. Lumbosacral plexus, hip to hip. And for cataracts, Marios Kyriazis pretty much figured it out, solved cataracts. Along with Tongren, of course. Oh, Peggy, we have liver cancer. We will do this right now as well. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. So oxygen for all cancers, T6, and then liver, T9. Yeah, I would get some good zinc or from a good company called globalhealing.com or globalhealingcenter.com. It's a really good type of zinc. I think it's a sublingual tincture, which makes it more effective. But you should get zinc and quercetin, and I think the company Global Healing has both. Quercetin accelerates the effectiveness of zinc. And a lot of people don't realize during COVID, people lose their taste and smell. that's also a zinc deficiency. But I read a bunch of scientific reports on that where it can slow down macular degeneration, probably help macular degeneration. Along with that, for the circulation, in fact, if you went to that place, Global Healing, I would suggest to get the zinc, the quercetin, and the vein health for the overall circulation of the area and the helping with the dry eyes and possibly even the cataracts. So to continue on with the liver cancer, more oxygenation, CV17, diaphragm and the phrenic nerve. So for anyone that has any lymph issues, castor oil is the way to go. Possibly adding in some pokeweed essential oils or things for relaxation, which I guess would be like echinacea, St. John's wort, stuff like that. And homeopathy.lm is with us today as well. And that's good timing because Les is next. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery, and then directly on the CV12 area for the liver. So liver castor oil pack would be a great idea. And maybe the homeopathy person can have some recommendations for homeopathics for pain. I mentioned arnica, which is a common one, but there may be some other remedies as well. So let's do some more oxygenation for the cancer people here. We have esophageal and liver cancers. And CV4 for the dantian for energy. So I put that information about hypnosis for pain management up on the screen, actually, for a few moments. People can no longer see my hands, but that will be there on the recording for anyone that wants to see it. And to continue with the cancer, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, immune system building. And T8, T7, 8, 9 for esophageal cancer for Fran. So let's work on blood flow to the brain for everyone. GV17 for the dizziness. GV17, actually BL9 would be the right way to go. For any dizziness, massage or Tongren for the base of the skull, the occiput area. Castor oil, magnesium oil right at the base of the skull would be good options as well. Vertebral artery, spinal artery, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the pain. Grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. And we will get to interesting legend in just a moment. We want to do a complete eye workup for Dorothy, for Faris's mom, for Catherine, anyone. Remember what I mentioned before, zinc plus quercetin, those two things, plus vein health for any artery or vein issues related to the eyes or anything in the body. So those three things would be a really good set of things to do. Along with the can see anything related to Dr. Kiriadzis for cataracts. But let's work on the Tongren for all of these things, blood flow to the brain. So lymph drainage is castor oil would be the best way to go. Let's work right on the ouch point for the eyes. GV17 for eye blood pressure. C3 for the eyes, and then we want to work on all the blood flow to support the eyes. What kind of surgery is it, if I may ask, Paris? So, carotid artery to support the eyes, facial artery to support the eyes, those are both in the sky window area. Vertebral artery, trigeminal nerve for the eyes. Liver for the eyes. And good luck with the eye surgery for tomorrow. Let's all pray for Paris's mom to have a good outcome. Keep all the good stuff coming. Augustina is doing great. We'll work for all the cancer folks as well. And the bone marrow issues. The dry eye right lacrimal gland. And the cataracts. Growth hormone, GV20, and the eyes ouch point as well. And the vagus nerve down the torso. And yes, I had a pretty good Thanksgiving. Thank you for asking. Hope you guys did. Just a heads up, it looks like there will only be one Thursday. I will not be available most likely. And it is, I think, the 22nd of December. But I'll probably put up a special recording with everybody's cases anyway, or just have the repeat from the week before to make sure that it works for everyone. You can watch the repeat. So let's continue on. Yes, Dorothy, please get some zinc, quercetin, and vein health I would recommend for the circulation. But at least the zinc and quercetin would be great. They come together sometimes. There's also a great combo from Dr. Zelensky, I think his name is, very well known in the COVID area. He's got a remedy with zinc, D, C, and quercetin, combo of those. So let's work on next. Blood flow to the brain. Pain in shoulder is bad. Weak kidneys, cocoa, arthritis in the neck, hips, spine, lungs, and heart. And then we will do a complete workup for everyone for the lymph. So if you think of lymph acceleration, castor oil, rebounding, lymph brushing, and lymph drainage massage. Those are 4 main things you can do, because lymph is garbage collection and elimination, so you want to keep that going as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Removing stagnation. GV 19, 20, 21, 22 for interesting legend. GV 17, BL 9. So shoulder release point for the shoulder, painful shoulder, and CV7 for the clavicle, C7 rather, L1, C7, and T and L1. L1 and L2. Number 1 to 5. And Allison, you are having some good results, but let's work on the arthritis. Vertigo is gone, the right cysts shrinking. So again, I would recommend the customized breast covering castor oil packs. They're actually made specifically for that area, which would be great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So the neck, C1 to C7. We'll work for the pecs. Let's do that right now. For the lungs, lung 1, lung 2, and Chinese medicine right in the corner here and here. And also the pecs, pectoralis. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation, right back shoulder. Say hi to Coco, our mascot. And hello, Marie. How you doing since we saw each other last? Did you try the peppermint oil? T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, spine and hips. So the lumbosacral plexus, hip to hip. T5 for the heart, T6 for the pericardium. I'm sorry, T5 for the heart and pericardium. So castor oil pack. Castor oil pack. Yep, castor oil pack. Yep, auto typing is annoying. So a castor oil pack increases lymph circulation. If you're familiar with the Sleeping Prophet, also known as Edgar Casey, if you look, he has these websites. He has a website with all of his cases of great success. He channeled his diagnosis from the Akashic record. Pretty amazing stuff. And then grounding. Timid specimen is Allison also. And, I thought you had another name as well. Okay, timid specimen is Allison. Great to see you, Allison. So let's work on the blood flow, nerve flow for the breasts. T4 for the breasts. Vertebral artery to the breast and the entire spine. And the mammary arteries from the area of the neck to lung 1, lung 2, down to the specific area. And CBD for pain, which is great. And people are asking about the music. It seems to create an interference. I'll try it again sometime, maybe at a very low level. And you try the peppermint and castor oil. So you can use castor oil with essential oils in it. It's kind of a great combo. And then hopefully it feels great. And hopefully it will have some long-term benefits. And we will tap for your digestion. Absolutely. Ouch point for the cysts in the breasts, which are shrinking. That's all we can ask for is progress. Grounding for Coco and Allison, liver 3 and kidney 1. All right. So let's work on that. I think we've caught up with everyone. So it seems we have some junk here. Pondering Traveler, let's make sure we get that. Yep, you're up next, actually. We just finished breast, and next you are Pondering Traveler, and you are absolutely next. Let's do it. Blood flow to the brain. So mold and chemical exposures. There are herbal remedies, but one of the best things you can do is clay. We actually do a 14-day clay detox program to help people. We do a colon cleanse, different programs, because from my 25 years experience, I found 2 multi-day processes that are incredibly effective for people to get through their healing challenges. But for detox and mold and chemical exposures causing lung and sinus infections. So one of the things you can do is steam tents, a big bowl of steam, add some lavender essential oils and put a towel over it. Inhale, it will be a direct antimicrobial bacterial cleansing for your sinuses and your lungs. And believe it or not, and on the exhale, if you hold your breath, you can sanitize your sinuses. It's even used for COVID. Breathe in 4, out 6, hold for 6 or longer, and it will put nitric oxide in your sinuses and sanitize your sinuses. But let's go T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. But make sure we get C3, 4, and 5 for the lungs, for the sinuses. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for anti-infection. There are great herbal antibiotics. A really good one that I used when I had COVID, called Counterattack. Migraines are from the detoxing. So you need a serious approach to detoxing with herbs or chemicals or intermittent fasting with a larger window of non-eating will help to cleanse the body. Multiple days of juice fasting, or if you're in a clinic with supervised doctors, you can do dry fasting as well, but that's only under the supervision of a doctor. Sanitize your sinuses. Yes. SYS. Instead of DYI, it's SYS. Sanitize your sinuses. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So let's work on the gut and the microbiome, as well as chemicals. Microbiome for chemical exposure, mold exposure. But the gut microbiome, and let's know the peppermint and castor oil, how long that's going to work. Number 1 to 5, and then the microbiome again to support the peppermint and castor oil, L4, L5. Microbiome for removing chemicals. Clay packs on the belly area, definitely for chemical exposures. Nope, that looks good. Sanitize your sinuses. That's great. Lumbar 1 to 5, sacrum 1 to 5. So I'm not sure which CBD to recommend. There's so many brands now. Like so many things, it would be the concentration of CBD. Sometimes it's even the brand. Sometimes it's good to have a majority of CBD and a small amount of THC as a healing remedy as well. So migraines, there's some specific points. GB20, right on the back of the head, right here, will be painful. Just open up the whole occiput, loosen it up, strong hands. But we will work on migraines. We always have good luck with migraines. So see 1, 2, and 3 for cognitive dysfunction. It's because you have toxins in your body. It's not your fault. Suicide ideation, it's because the body's not functioning properly, because we know you're a good, sacred, important person, but sometimes the chemicals can negatively impact your body. C1 to C7 and suicidal ideation. Probiotics. Fermented foods would be the best. GB13, right side. Sleep tape. Believe it or not, it's a thing. Specific tape over your mouth at night. It's sleeping can work with asthma, sleep apnea, getting up at the middle of the night. vertebral artery to the spinal artery, to the adrenals, lumbar 1 to 5. And let's work specifically on the ouch point areas for Marie, CV12. I'll try the music again, but it did seem to create a disruption, so I'll have to try it again with some maybe with a low level. Somebody mentioned the word fountain. I know very few jokes, but I know a joke about the meaning of life and the fountain. If people are curious and you're still listening, bring a little levity for our session. Liver 3 and kidney 1. Lazarus Naturals. Haven't heard of that. There you go. So there's a question. I use castor oil on cloth and put on moist heat pad. Should I apply oil direct to the skin? I would say yes. I would use a small amount just to rub it in. If you can, warm it up first, like in a double boiler or something. Put it directly on the skin, and then put it on the pack as well, and then put the pack on on a cloth. Remember, it's a very interesting technique that I've seen. When you use the pack, it's similar to a hug. It's actually it creates a sensation of security and well-being and encourages oxytocin. So that's another benefit of the pack. So get it a little bit tight, make sure it's warm, but put a little bit on the area first to rub it in, and then put it on the pack, and then cover the pack, and then cover with warm heat. And I would do that. And then depending upon the condition, add a little bit of essential oils to really increase, at a minimum, have what's called pokeweed, which is in itself increases lymph circulation. That alone, even alone, can help to increase that. But lymph circulation, any circulation, bioelectrical, lymph, blood, chi, all these things, the circulation, that's what our body is. It is a circulatory system of many types of communications. So let's work on blood flow to the brain. So I don't want to take what we're doing not seriously, but maybe it would be interesting. There was a person looking for the meaning of life, as we all are, and this person had sought out very strongly to find the guru of gurus with the meaning of life, and it is different for everyone. But before I mention more about the joke, always with our healing, never give up, always have hope, always have a sense of humor. You don't have to give up. You don't have to listen to a final terminal message from a doctor that doesn't have the power over life and death. And in many ways, they have a very limited scope of their understanding of healing, even though they've been to school for many years. They don't know the thousands of years of Native Americans, First Nations, Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicines, herbalists, homeopaths, all of these light therapists, all these Nobel Prize winning scientists that they discount and focus on their very shallow, narrow focus, which sometimes is helpful to get people through a crisis. I don't discount that, but it's good to move on to something that is in harmony with our own bodies, nature itself. What the Tongren does, it removes resistance and allows the flow of natural energy to allow the body to do the healing. Not myself, but the body actually does all the great work. So with that said, this person sought out the meaning of life, and he searched the whole world, and then eventually heard about this brilliant guru on the top of a mountain, probably in India. That's what I'm guessing. That's where gurus hang out. Could be in Europe, could be in South America, could be the Incas, could be anywhere. So eventually this guy, spending his whole life crawling and carrying things and moving up, and eventually he did find that guru. And in his last few breaths, but he was still doing okay, but he was really determined to get the information. So he asked the guru of gurus, what is the meaning of life? And the guru simply responded, life is like a fountain. And that's it. And the guy who spent his whole life said, that's it? And the guru looked back at him in curiosity, like, that's all I got, pretty much. And that was it. So life, the meaning of life is what you make it. Probably the meaning of life was already in the heart of that person seeking as a witness, not realizing that the truth of the meaning of life sits with all of us, connecting to our true selves, as we are all connected through the heart of compassion and service to others, which I feel is the true meaning of life. So let's do one more round for everyone. Do a complete tune-up for everyone. Vertebral artery, spinal artery to the entire spine. So we'll work on sanitize your sinuses campaign. And then we'll do a lymph tune-up for everyone. Axillary lymph, the armpits. Inguinal lymph, and the pyrus patch area around CV4, CV6 area. And of course the spleen, the largest lymph node of the entire body. So pondering traveler, I did get your request. Yes, I did. Yep. We are complete. We got everyone. Yep. You're welcome very much. We don't want to miss anybody. So grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. And for Esther, CV4, T7, S1 to 5, an extra little boost for Esther. We'll have to do a Masterpiece Theater check-in. I will get you 2 days, 4 episodes of Masterpiece Theater this weekend. Like I got nothing else to do, but that's good time. So everybody breathe in. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And we will charge the battery CV4 for everyone. Oxygenate, energize, chi spreading, disease prevention. Thanks to everyone. Blessings to everyone during these holidays or whatever's going on worldwide. Healing without borders, connected by the universal values of humanity, such as kindness, benevolence, virtue, compassion, and Tongren. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week. Have a great week. Bye now. And for some, fromage? Is it fromage weekend? No, it's Black Friday. Fromage Friday. Maybe that's it. Good night.